Hi guys, Olive here. Welcome to another tutorial, and this is what we'll be building today. All right, so I built this in Power BI and we're doing a daily dashboard report for Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. Let me just show you what this dashboard is about. Come along. So this is a beautiful dashboard, and I just want to show you a few things. Like, this is our top selling products and our least selling products, and when we hit on see more here, we get to see more about our products. Okay, and also when we go back, we're going back to our dashboard page, and these are the DAX measures we'll be writing in order to create this thing here. Not every time we get our data set via CSV format. This time we connected via web, to make refresh easy and all of that. Come with me, let us get started. Welcome back, guys. But first things first, we need to understand the business requirements. Let's go to the aim of the project. So this is what our stakeholders require of us. They want a daily dashboard. They want us to track the necessary KPIs for the daily sales. They want to see the sales volume from the start of the year. They want to know their best selling product and their least selling product. They want to be able to track their last sale and what was ordered. They want to know the location, with the most sales. Just want to see the sales by the location. And they want to know which day they make the most sale. So this is basically what the business wants, and that is what we're going to deliver to them. Let us go take a look at our data set and connect it from web into Power BI. Okay, guys, so this is what our data set looks like. As you can see, this is Fenty Beauty data set. I added some things here, but obviously the category and the product name are the same because these are Fenty Beauty's product names, and the prices, I got them from Amazon, so I think they should be the same. I believe they are the same. Anyways, so this is it. So the next part now is to connect it to Power BI, and we're doing this via web because we're not saving and importing. No, we're going to do this via web so that refreshing is going to be a lot more easy for us. Okay. In order to connect via web, the first thing you need to do is to copy this link. Okay. So when you come here, you hit on share. Now you can see you have to give access. All right. Normally here you would see restricted because I'd already changed this. But if you see restricted here, anyone with link, your own should be showing you restricted. So all you need to do is to just come under here and hit on anyone with link and copy the link and hit on done. So now let's head over to Power BI and do the connection. Okay, so here we are, and there are loads of places you can connect your data from. Look at, you can import from Excel here, from SQL Server, and one link and all of that. But for us, we're just going to go to get data. We're going to go to web. We'll just wait for it to open up. It will show us a URL link, and we're going to paste that URL link that we copied. And I'm just going to come here and add some things. We're going to remove from this part up to this edit part, and I'm just going to write export where format is supposed to X, and we're going to hit OK. Now, if you don't get this part, I have a video where I showed this, clearly on how to connect from your Google Sheet to your Power BI. So I'm putting that in the description box, and it will also be showing up here right now. Okay, and you can see we're just going to select the sales table, which is where we have our data, and you can see the preview, right? This is what we have. So let's load this. Now we have our sales table in here, and let's take a look at that. You can see this is everything that we had. Okay. So listen up, this is a very important period, right? Remember, in the business requirements, we were told to define the necessary KPIs for this daily dashboard. The business is not going to give you the KPIs. Sometimes they might give you the KPIs, but other times you have to come up with the necessary KPIs to track the performance, of the business. What are the KPIs we could, give this business? So let's start with total sales, because every business wants to obviously have an idea of their total sales, right? So we'll say the first one is total sales. Now, remember, this is a daily dashboard. So we want to know the sales for that day because this is something we'll be submitting every single day. So they need to understand the breakdown of the sales of the daily sales from the total sales. We have total sales, the accumulated sales from the beginning of the year to the point where we are at right now. And with the daily sales is what they sold on that day, that particular day. So we have daily sales. And now what is the next thing we can track again? We want to know the number of orders. How many orders were placed today? Number of orders. And then we want to know the average sale value. What is our average sales? That's just it, right? This is for, okay, one more, which is also very important. We want to know the quantity. How many was sold? The number of orders is different. 5 people can order, but the quantity could be 20 if these 5 people ordered 4 each. Do you understand? More like the volume, right? You have the value, which is the daily sales value, right? Which is the number 2 here. This is the value, and this is more like the volume. Okay, so I think these 5 KPIs are important in, to monitor the performance of our daily sales. All right, so now we're going to go into building the structure of the dashboard. For here right now, I'm just going to start by going to format your page. I'm going to the canvas setting, and I'm going to make this custom because we want it a lot bigger. So I'll make this 2000 and I'll make the width 3000. All right, you can see this is a lot bigger right now. The next thing I want to do, I'm going to leave the background as white. So coming to insert now, we're going to go to shape and get a rounded rectangle. So let's reduce this roundedness, okay? So come to shape, just take this all the way out. So this is where we get to write, the topic and all of that. Then the next thing I want to do is to change the color. So turn off the border and come to the color. So I'm going to go to more colors and I'll paste my hex code. And this is what the hex code looks like if you want to copy that. And then I'll make this transparent. Say 32. All right, this is fine. So the next thing I want to do now is to get another shape. I'll reduce the roundedness. And then I'm going to format this color. So come to style, come back here, come to more colors, and I'm just going to paste my hex code. If in case you want to copy, this is it. So next thing is to copy and paste. I'm just going to be copying and pasting a lot more. So this is for my orange. So I'm coming to style now, and I want to make this orange. Right, we're getting there. Copy paste. I'm going to put this here at the edge. Another copy and paste. So this is for the KPIs. So I'm going to format this and just make it white. So come to style, come here, let's just choose white. So hit on this. Come to style, go to shadow. I'm going to make it custom. The angle at 90. Now this is what the shadow looks like. Can you see? It has more of this pop. So I'm also going to incorporate this shadow in these few ones that I've done. So now what I want to do is copy and paste this in 5 different places for those KPIs that we defined, okay? All 5 evenly distributed. So I'm just going to come here, copy and paste again. So this is for our summary sales. This is where our last sale will be. Lastly, another copy and paste, and I'm just going to take this up here. This is what our structure looks like. So the next thing we need to do is to go into Power Query Editor in order to transform our data. So this transformation, we're going to be adding certain things like the date element. This will help us to write the necessary measures that we're going to use to track these KPIs later in time, and not just the KPIs, the dashboard in general. So we need to do these transformations in order to continue with the dashboard. All right. So let's head over to our Power Query editor. For that, you have to come to transform data here and click on that, and it's going to take us to Power Query editor. So this is where your cleansing, manipulation, transformation can be done, all right? Okay, so what we want to do now is to come to date, and to get we want to get the months because we're going to be needing that. We also want to get the week in case our stakeholders want to see by week, and more importantly, we want to get by day because remember it is a daily report, and remember they also wanted to see their most sold, the day they make the most sales. So that day is really important. So we're just going to do month, week, and day. All right, so for that, you're going to come on date here, come to add column, come to date, you go for month. Okay, so this month is going to give you the month number. We're just going to change this name to month number. After month number, you're going to come back to date, hit on date, come to date here, come to month, and get the name of the month. Okay, so look at what the name of the month is, January, and all of that. So the next thing we want to see is we want to see it by week. So I'm going to come back to my dates, and we're just going to come here and go to week. We're going to go to week of year. Now you can see this is the first week of the year. You can see the second week and all of that. Okay, so this can be week of the year, or you can call it week number as well. So let's just call it week number so everything is, consistent. Now we want to get the week name. So in order to get the week name, we're just going to go to custom column and create that week name. So in our custom column, we're just going to put week name. And what we want to do is just really to concatenate WK, which is the prefix that we want in front of the week number. Okay, WK, this is what I want. And I'm going to say text from number because WK is a text, is a string, and the number is an integer. And normally, these two data types cannot concatenate. So you have to change the text. You have to change the number, which is like week number 1, number 2, 3. You have to change that number to a string, or extracting the text. In this case now, we're going to extract the text from the number, all right, so that they can both concatenate and come out as a string, all right, or a text. Okay, so I'm just going to put brackets here, and we're just going to come here and select the column we want to, extract the text from, which is what? Week number, and insert that and close the bracket. So let's hit enter now, and you can see this comes out now as week number 1, week number 2. If we had kept only just 1, 2, stakeholders might get confused. So that is it. The next thing we're going to do is to come here, and we're going to change the data type from is either text or integer, either text or whole number, because we are seeing ABC 1, 2, 3 right here, and it's not going to work. It's not all right. So we need to choose one data type, and what we want is the text at this point. So I'm just going to go with the text, and we have just ABC. So the next thing we want to do is to come back to our date, and we want to get the day right now. So come to date, come to day, let's get the day of the week. And we can see the day of the week, which can also serve us as what? Day number. So let's just change it for consistency's sake. Now, the last but not the least is the day name. So I'm just going to come on date here. and come to name of day. Okay, so now you can see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I'm going to go to transform so that it doesn't take me to another column. Okay, I want the transformation done right here in this column. So I'm going to come to extract and extract the first 3 characters and okay. So come back to home, come to close and apply. So when you finish working on date, you need to come to the table view and do some sorting. You have to sort with some columns, okay? So this thing is supposed to be showing, and I don't know why it is not, but let us just go sort our column right now. Never mind, it's not showing. It's not going to affect our sorting, okay? So the first thing we want to do is we want to sort the month name by the month number. So once we hit on month name here, we'll come to sort column and we're just going to choose what? Month number. And as you can see, it's going to do just that. Great. The next thing we want to do is sort the week name by the week number. So hit on week name, come to sort column, and come to week number. And last but not the least, we're doing the same thing with the day, all right? So come to day, come to sort by column, and come to what? Day number. And we're done. So right now we're coming back to the report view. And now that we've created this, we need to come and create the measures table so that we can start writing in our measures. For our measures, we need to create a measure table just to keep all our measures in check so everything looks neat. So come to enter data. And we're just going to name this what? Measures table. So this is where all of our table would be. All right, so let's start putting in our measures here. So in order to do that, hit on these measures, come to quick measure. And the first thing we wanted to see when we were defining our KPI was the total sales, right? So this is quite easy. So we'll just put total sales equals to, we want to get the sum of our sales. So sum of the sold, okay? Close the brackets, and that is it for KPI number 1. For number 2, we want to get the daily sales. So we want to know how much we sold today, right? Come to quick measure again. So let's just say today's sale equals to, so we're going to use the calculate function now, and this is just to get us the sum. We're going to calculate what? The sum, let's just come down. The sum of the sold column, close the bracket. And what do we want to filter it by? We want to filter it by the dates because we want the one that is for today, okay? So I want to get the date, sales date. So let's hit sales date, where the sales date is equals to, we're going to use the today function. Great. And then come down here and close the bracket. So hope you understand this. We are calculating the sum. We're calculating how much was sold when the date is today, right? So let's hit enter. And we have our today's sale. The next thing we want to do is we want to get the number of orders for the day, okay? So we're going to do almost the same thing. So let's just copy this so we don't get to type over again. I'm going to come to new measure. And I'm just going to paste this. So we're just going to write number of orders here. And what we want to get is we want to calculate the, so we're going to get the order. Oh, here we're going to count the row. We're going to have to count the row of the order because the order ID is a unique ID, and so only one is for one customer. Even if the customer comes twice, right? They have, if the customer purchases twice, they have different order ID. So by that, we'll know how many orders actually took place that day. So we want to count row of the table, sales table, where the sales table date is today. So let's close the brackets. Let's hit enter. So this is our third KPI. The fourth one, we talked about getting the average sales. Okay, so we're also going to do that. Let's copy. So let's hit on new measure. And we're just going to copy this, which we had. So I'm just going to put average right here. So use the divide function. And it tells you your numerator. So what will be your numerator? The today's sales, of course. So today's sales, you use your comma. What will be your denominator is the number of orders, which is this. And you're good to go here. You can close the bracket now, or you can use comma and put 0. And, okay, let's remove this and hit enter. So our average sale is here. And the last but not the least, we want to know the quantity that was ordered today. Okay, so for that, let us go use our measure again. And for our measure, let's paste this in. So we want to get today's quantity. So today's quantity, we want to calculate the sum of, here will not be sold, it will be quantity. So let's look for that. Okay, this is our quantity. So we want to get the sum of the quantity when the sales is today. So sum of quantity that was sold today. So you can see why this last line of code here is really important. All right. So now that we have this, let us hit enter. And guys, we have our 5 KPIs. All right. So I just want to delete this column 1 because there is nothing in there. All right, so now we need to, put this thing in our card so we visualize it. So I'm just going to bring in the card here. So the first thing we want to see is the total sales. And our total sales is 51,000. But we need to format this using the $sign because Fenty Beauty is in the US and what they use is the $sign. So we'll also make this to have 1 decimal place. So come to auto here and hit on it again. So this is 1 decimal place. Now let us format this so it looks better. So come to format your visual, turn off the category label, come to call out value and increase this. The highest is 60. So just put that and let's make it bold. Right. So next thing you want to do, come to general, come to title. So guys, this is what we have. All right. So next thing we're going to do now is I'm just going to copy this and I'll paste it in these 5 different places. So we don't have to format a lot anymore. The next one now is the today's sales. That's what we want to have. So we're just going to come on today's sales and put that in here. And we can see we have sold $804. So let us, format this with the $sign so we know this is money we are talking about. Let's come to the title and put what today's sales. Great. So the next one we're going for is number of orders. So let's just get our number of orders here. Now you can see we have 8 orders today. Let's go and, change the title. So the next thing we're looking at is the average sales. Okay, so we'll just come here and get the average sales, which is $100. Let us format that with the currency symbol. All right, so we have $100.5 is the average sale for the day. So let us go and format it with the title. All right. So the last but not the least is this, which is the quantity. How many did we sell per day? Okay, so for that, we're going to come here and get what? Today's quantity. And we're coming here to format it with the title. And we're just going to put quantity sold. The next thing we want to do is we want to come over to our summary sales table. Remember, our stakeholders wanted to see the total sales they've had since the beginning of this year up until now where we're at. We're not just going to show them in value alone. We also want them to see the trend by month. We want to know the month that has done better and, the one that is not doing so well. We need them to see and know all of this, as it's going to help in their business decision. Okay, so that is what brings us to our next chart, which is the summary sales by month, where we're going to be showing them their sales by month in a line chart. Let's get back. So for our summary sales by month, we'll just come get a line chart or area chart. So let's come here. I have to bring this down. So what we want to see now is the sales by the month. Okay, so we're just going to get the total sales here and we're going to get the month name. And as you can see, this is what we have. All right, so let us go format this. Come to format your visual. Come to the x-axis, which is this. We're going to make this 25 so we see it better. And then we're going to turn off the title. We're coming to the y-axis and we're going to turn off the title and make the value a lot more legible. So 25 as well. Great. So next we're coming to lines. We want the type to be smooth, the line type to be smooth. So can you see this looks smooth now? The next thing we want to do is to come to colors, and we're giving this our orange color. So I'm just going to paste in my code, and then I'm going to come to the shade area and make this transparent, like 90 something. Okay, so this is what we have. So the next thing we want to do now is to go to general, we turn off the title. I'm going to come back to visual and go to grid lines. Okay, so this is grid line. I am going to make this a bit darker. So, all right, so that's about it for this. The next thing we want to do now is to write the title. So for that, I'm coming here. I'm just going to come and get a text box. And this is it. Let's push that. Our first part is done, and this is what we have. All right. So this next part is where we want to get our last sales. So in order to get this last row, what we need to do is to create another table that has just the last row in it. All right. So it's like a measure, but it's a table. So let's go to modeling, and we're going to see what's new table. So now this is we creating a table that we want only the last purchase to be in. All right, so we're going to use this using the order ID. Remember, the order ID is unique. So we want to get the last order ID. And once we get that last order ID, we will then, from the table, impute the name, obviously the name of the person with the last order ID, the products that they bought, the price, the quantity, every single thing on the row with that order ID is what we're going to get. So we're getting the last order ID in our table. All right. So let's just go and say the last purchase details. So for this, we're going to create a variable. So shift and enter to come down. And this variable will be called what? Last row. Apologies, please remove that. So this will be called last row. And our last row will be, we want to get the last non-blank row is what we want to get. All right, so we're just going to use the function last non-blank. And what is the column name that we want? We want what? The order ID. So we'll just go with, can you see, sales table order ID. And what is the expression? We want just one. We want just the last row. So we're going to put 1 here and close our brackets. We're coming down again, use the shift and enter to come down, and we're going to return. What are we returning? Filter. We're going to filter. What table are we filtering and what is the table expression? Okay, so the table we want to filter is the sales table, which is it here. And we're going to use the comma because if you're even looking at this, you can be guided very well. Okay, so we're going to be looking at it, and you can see this returns a table that has been filtered. Okay, so you use a comma. And what is our filter expression? So we want to filter where the order ID row is the last row. Okay, sales order ID is equals to last row, and we'll close our brackets. Hit enter, and if you come here and look, you can see this gave us a table. You can see this is showing us everything we have in the normal sales table, but this is showing us only the last purchase. Okay, so now we're going to get a table. I'm just going to use this one, and I'm going to bring it down here and fit it into this box. So what we want to see is, first of all, the order ID, right? So we're going to get the order ID first. We're getting the name of the customer, and then we're getting the city where this purchase is taking place in. And then we're getting the product, which is the product name here. And next, we're getting the quantity that was sold. And next, we're getting the actual, sale price. And this is about it. So let us format this so we get to see it a lot better. So we're going to come to our values. Let's just make that 30 so we see it well. So we're also going to come to our column headers and also increase that. I want to come to totals and turn it off. All right. So I want to make this place blue, this column header blue. So come to background color, and we're just going to choose our blue. Okay, so when we have chosen blue, you can see that this black text is not working, right? So we're just going to make this white so it pops. All right, great. Next thing we want to do now is I want to adjust this. So now the next thing I want to do is to actually, change the name of these headings. Okay, so let us go to our visual, and we're going to rename this for this visual alone. Okay, so order ID is going to be left like that. So for product name, we're going to change it to just products. And hit enter. For sum of quantity, we're going to rename it to just what? Quantity. And for this sum of sold, we're just going to rename it to what? Price. So this is what our last sold item looks like. The next thing we want to go over is to this small part, which we're going to be seeing our sales by day, to know the day which, our customers actually make the most sales. Okay, so let's go do that. I'm just going to use a line chart, and I'll feed this in. So I got the titles, all right, for everything. this is what it looks like with the total sales per day. Now let us see what it looks like with the average sales per day. Okay, so for the average sales, we're just going to come to this measure here and create a new measure. So for this new measure, we're just going to name this average sales. We're going to use use the function average. I need to change this. So use the function average of sales, average of sold. So close the brackets and let us do that. So we'll come here. Look at how this looks like. So let's go look at it with the average sales. So we're going to turn off the total sales now, and we're going to bring in the average sales, and look at what it looks like. So our average sales, the highest day we've made the most sale is on Tuesday, which is averaging $75 on Tuesday. All right, so this is what we have for this. So now we want to see the sales by city, and for that we're just going to use the column charts. So we're going to get this, and we're just going to fit it in. So we're just going to get our sales and our city, and this is about it. All right, so let's format this. We'll go to the x-axis, we'll turn off the title, we'll increase the font so we can see. We'll come to the y-axis, and we're going to remove both the title and the value, so there is more space to play around with. And let's go increase this a bit more. So we're going to come to columns now, and then we're going to change this to our blue. Then come to your layout, and we're going to reduce this, so it's tiny, exactly, something like that. And the next thing we want to do is to turn on the data labels, but this is not quite visible, so let us increase the value font. Then the next thing we want to do, come to general and turn off the title. So we can see Los Angeles is topping with 18.5 thousand, and followed by New York, followed by Chicago, and followed by Texas. So before we start with the top and least selling products, let us duplicate this page, and I will show you why very soon. So with this duplicated page, what you want to do is just to remove all of these things. So guys, I've removed everything here, all right, and I'm just going to come here and get a bar chart. So total sales by product's name. We'll just format this a bit, and you can see y-axis. Let's put it at 20. You can see this is really long. Now I'm just going to create a DAX measure. I'll call this placeholder. I'll just put placeholder as 0. Then the next thing I want to do is to write another DAX measure. So hit on new measure here. I'm just going to put the name as product. So what we want to do here is we want the selected value, our selected value, to be product. You're going to see why this is important very soon, to be the product name. And that is about it. To hit on our visual, we're going to come and get our placeholder and put right here. So come to format your visual, come to the legend and turn it off. Let's go to bars, turn on the data labels. Now when you turn on the data labels, you know what, let's make this more visible. So you see, let's put it at 20. You can see the 0 that we kept right in the placeholder. This is it right here, and this is our data labels for the products that we have. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to replace this product name here. We're going to put it in this placeholder, and that was why we used that selected value is equals to the product name. So we're going to put it up here. All right, we're going to go to data labels and we're going to choose what? Our placeholder. Right, so now we're coming back to value and we're going to see the placeholder here, but we don't want 0 showing here. We want the product name to show. Okay, so for that, we're just going to come here and choose our product, which we kept the product name in. Oh, no. What? I think we made a mistake somewhere. So I think this is the last product that we bought. We need to go back to our DAX measure and take a look. So I'm just going to go back to product. And this is the DAX measure, selected value last. Okay, it shouldn't be last purchase detail because this is just showing us the last product that was purchased. Okay, so this should be our sales table and the product name. So that is an error on my end. Sales, let me just remove this. So sales table, product name. All right, this is what we should have. Okay, so you can see the difference right now. So yeah, let's just go back to y-axis and remove this. Go to y-axis and turn the title off as well as the value. Now you can see what we have. We can decide to sort this chart right here. All you need to do is to come to more option, come to sort axis, and we want to sort it based on the total sales, right? So we want the ones with the highest total sales up, then the one with the lowest down. So as you can see, this is what we have. This is our highest and this is our lowest. All right, so we've gotten everything we need for this place. So let us go and get our chart, which is, let's just copy and paste it. So I'm going to come here, Ctrl+C, copy. I'm going to paste it here. So all I need to do is come over to the filter. Remember, what I want to get is the top selling product, which obviously is Diamond Bomb all over Diamond View. Okay, so I'm going to come over to the product name here, and coming to the filter type, I want the top N. Okay, so this top N just means top number. So I'm going to put top number 1 because it is the highest I want. And I want to see this value by what? The total sales. So I'm just going to drag it and put it here, and I'm going to apply this filter. Now you can see this is our total sales, right? And this is what we want to see. So a bit of formatting. And you can see the reason why I copied it, because we've already formatted everything. So the only thing I'm going to change now is the color. Apply setting to total sales. I'm going to put this as gray. Come back here and come to effects, turn off the background so this can stay. Okay, I don't think gray is giving what we want. I'm just going to come back to visual, come to color and get white. Now you can see our label. Our label is in black, but this orange is more suiting when it's white. All right, so let us go to our data labels and make that white. So we're just going to come here, going to placeholder, because this is our placeholder, do not forget. And for the placeholder, we're going to go to value. We're going to make this color white. Great, so now we can see this. So now this is what we have. Okay, so now I'm just going to copy and paste this. So we'll bring it in as our least selling product. So for the least selling product, what we need to do is also go back to the filter, which is this. If you can remember, this was duplicated. That's why it's showing the same thing. So we'll come back here. And the filter type we still want is top N. We want to, now the item we want to show is not the top again, but the bottom, all right? So we're just going to click here and get the bottom one. And we're still, filtering by total sales. So let's apply the filter. And you can see the bottom is Gloss Bomb Cream Universe. This is the least sold product, at least by the price, okay, by the total sales. So there's something important we want to do, which is to put a see more button. So you know this particular area is talking about the product, and now we've been able to tell them, oh, this is your top selling product and this is your least selling product. But if you want to see more about the product, they can click on that see more, and it's going to take them to this product page here, where they're going to see all their products lined up from the most sold to the least sold. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. But we will need to create space here because this bar is a bit too much. So I'm just going to click on the bar and get more space. Now let's add our see more button, okay? And this see more button is basically a page navigation button that is just going to take us to the products page in case they want to see more about the products. All right, so come to insert, come to buttons, and come and get back. Now this is where it went to, so just drag it here, expand that. So what you want to do now is to go to icon. In icon, you can see that what you're typing here is back. You can see that what this is back, right? But you can come and make it blank, so you get to write whatever it is you want in there. Okay, so we'll turn on the text so we get to write what we want. So you can write whatever it is you want in here. You can decide to write see more the way I wrote. So I'll just say see more. So now you've written the see more. If you can see it here, I'm just going to increase the font. Let's make it 45. And we're going to make it bold. Great. We're going to make the font color orange. This looks good. And then come up to shape, and we're going to give it the rounded corners. So let's bring this in here. Oh, one last thing we need to do. You need to come to fill, turn the fill on, turn the border off. So when you come to fill, you can see the color is white, but the transparency is in 50. So we're going to, make the transparency at 0. We don't want anything to be transparent. So just take it back. And yeah, this is what we have. If we don't put an action to this, then it's just there. It's not doing anything. It's just going to take us to the previous page, but that is not what we want. So we're going to click on this, and the action is turned on already. If it's not turned on in your own, just turn it on. And the action type is back, but that's not what we want. We want page navigation, right? And it's then going to ask us, which page do you want to go to if we click on this? And then we're going to tell it to take us to the product page. And that is that. So right now, I'm just going to copy this, okay? So when we use Control and click, this will definitely take us to the products page. Can you see? It has taken us to the product page. So remember, I copied that, and I'm going to paste it right now. So I'm just going to push this upwards here. Now what I want to do with this one is to come to style, and just to give it a border, turn on the border, come here, and I will make the border orange, so it pops. So I'm just going to say go back. That's what I'm going to write here. All right. Increase the width pixel of the border. So what I'm going to do is to come to see more here, and I'm just going to write go back. Okay, so now this thing automatically tells you that you need to go back to the previous page. Okay, so now we're going to have to link it. So come to action, and come to the type we want is the page navigation, but the destination that this particular action is going to go towards is to our dashboard page. Okay, so right now when we hit Control and click here, it's going to be taking us to the dashboard page. So great, you can see it has taken us to the dashboard page. All right, so I think this is basically it. Well, guys, we are almost done. The next thing we want to do is to put in our logos and our Fenty Beauty logo, as well as other icons that we need to put to just give it that color and sass that it needs. So I'm going to put the logos in the description box below. It's going to be in the folder where you have the data set, but I'm not necessarily going to be showing us the process because I have a video up here showing now on how you can put in your logos and your icons, a very nice detailed video showing you how you can do that for all of your dashboards in order to enhance the beauty of this dashboard and send the right message to the stakeholders. All right. Now, the next thing that we have to do is just to write the title of this report. So for that, I'm going to bring in my text box and we'll just write something like daily dashboard or something. All right, guys, so this is about it. Now, let us see why it is so good to, connect via web. Okay, so look at what we have. Our total sales, today's sales is 804. Our total orders are 2 and whatnot. So take a good look at this place right now. So we are going to go add 2 more orders to this and let us see if this value changes. Okay. So now we're in our data set. I'm just going to come down here and push this here. So this is 88 and 89. Good. So for this, obviously we did a calculation. That is this times this is going to give us this. So all I need to do is just to put this down and it calculates automatically for me. So now we can see that our last sale is Shelstead and this is New York. The last one was Texas. What the person bought is lip gloss, this, and this is the price, and this is it. So let's put this lip gloss, let's make it 7. So you can see it changes automatically. Great. So now what we want to do is, now that we've got all this, we're just going to go back to our Power BI. What we are going to do now is to hit the refresh button and take a look, right? We have 8 orders. This is our total quantity sold and all of that. But once we hit the refresh button, everything just comes back to normal. All right, so now we can see, oh, I thought the gloss bomb was going to leave as the least sold, but it didn't. But although the price increased, do you get? So we can see our total sale. We can see today's sale, which is 1.07 thousand. We can see we have 10 orders. This is our average sale, and this is the quantity sold. Now look at this. Can you see? $7 and $154. So this is exactly what we hope to give our stakeholders. Okay. So we've come to an end, and I hope you learned everything that has to be learned in this beautiful dashboard tutorial. And in subsequent videos, we're going to learn how to schedule this refresh so you don't have to go do it by yourself. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to see you in my next one. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button and to like the video. Bye.